Don't forget to wear your headphones. Enjoy the video. Well, well, well. What do we have here? Another hero. Come here to defeat me. Well then. Before we begin, there are still some things that I want to say. This prophecy that you've been told is nothing but lies. You're no hero, and I'm no villain. But believe me or not, that doesn't matter in the end. After all, none of the other heroes before you listened to a word I said. What makes you any different? Well then, let's see what you have in store for me today. But if you would care to listen, I will tell you the truth of this phony prophecy. Well then, will you care to listen to none other than the person you were told to defeat? Oh, you will listen? My. How interesting. No other hero has listened to me. You really are special, aren't you? Well then, I suppose I'll tell you the truth. I wasn't always an outcast, you know. I grew up in that same little village you're from. But I was a little different. I had an affinity with magic. And I inadvertently performed some necromancy, which at the time I didn't know was a dark magic. But rather than the elders of the village telling me such, they deemed me a threat and tried to get rid of me. But I escaped. Oh, naturally. And rather than do their own dirty work and end me themselves, they created a lousy prophecy. A prophecy of a hero destined to defeat the villain, and passed it on to their next of kin, just because they couldn't do it themselves. What naive fools they are. Naturally, they passed it off as a prophecy of the ages that's been around since the founding of the village. But that couldn't be further from the truth. And generation after generation, another wannabe hero made their way to me, talking of a prophecy that they believed wholeheartedly in, that I knew the truth of, that I knew it was nothing but baloney. But, unlike you, they never cared to listen. They were so filled with wonderment and determination that they could be the one to slay the evil wizard. And there's nothing I could do. And to put it simply, they wanted a monster, so I gave them one. I gave them a reason to be scared. A reason to not come back. It's not like they ever let me tell them my side of the story anyway. But to you, as I already mentioned, you're different. You're different. And don't worry, I never hurt anyone. I'm a pacifist by nature. I really am. All I did was scare them a little. After all, how else can I let them leave me alone than scare them away? And then they'd go and tell a village that, oh, I'm a force to be reckoned with. But this only got the next generation even more determined. But, and like I also mentioned, you are the first to have listened to me. So, it matters not if you believe me. After all, it wouldn't be the first time that I've been met with somebody out to defeat me. And depending on how this encounter here goes, it likely won't be the last. So, if you don't believe me, well then, you better be ready to be dealt with your greatest fears. Only while you're in the vicinity of me, of course. That's my way of making sure they never come back. When they're in a mile or so radius of me, they are met with the deepest fears. I don't like to do it. I just want to be left alone. Or at least not constantly have someone try to defeat me. I'm tired of it, you know. But also, my. Is that the same sword that the original hero you tried to use against me? I think it is. How fascinating. Now the real question is, has that sword been passed down through generations? Or was it just any person in the village that wanted to step to the challenge could become the hero? Really? Anyone that wanted to step to the challenge? My. That really adds some light onto the prophecy. If anyone could feel it, then how authentic can it really be, you know? But then that begs the question, why did you decide to take up the mantle of the hero? If you don't mind my asking, of course. Ah, I see. You had a suspicion that this prophecy was a little fishy. Well then, how does it feel knowing that you were correct? But then that begs the question. Knowing what you know now, what will you do? Will you go back and tell them the truth? I'm pretty sure no one would believe you. After all, it's been many generations since it started. Why would they believe one random person? Another option is don't go back to your village. Now, I wouldn't advise this, because you would be leaving your life behind, which wouldn't be good. It really wouldn't. Another option could be tell them you won. Tell them that you defeated me. We both can win with this outcome, theoretically, I suppose. You would get the glory deserving of a hero, and I would finally be left alone. But there is one thing that could happen, I suppose. They may want proof. Which, if that is the case, that would be a bit of a pickle, wouldn't it? Well then, what do you want to do? There are the three options I gave you. But that's not to say that is the only option. Well, rather that those are the only options. My apologies. Well then, what's your decision? I have an idea, actually. Tell them I spared you. That I spared you for now. Because I didn't think you were strong enough for the challenge yet. And that you say I wanted you to come back in, say, a year's time to try to challenge me again. How's that sound? That way, they won't send somebody else after me for a while still. And I would actually be able to get some company once in a while. A luxury that I have not had in a very long time. And that way, we can also have more time to plan and discuss how to get rid of this prophecy once and for all. To show the village, your village, my village, the village, our village, the truth. The truth that the elders locked away for generations. How's that sound? Hero. Oh, can I call you friend at this point? Well then, how's that sound, friend? Well then, no encounter has lasted longer than this one. It's probably time for you to start heading back, you know. And we can start our little plan. And if all does go according to plan, I'll be seeing you again in a year's time. Well then, until we meet again. Let's hope everything goes as planned.